At the edge of the ocean the tavern keeper Shidori was sitting. Her face was veiled, her golden pot stand and brewing vat stood at her side. As Gilgamesh came towards her, worn out, his heart full of anguish, she thought, "This desperate man must be a murderer. Why else is he heading straight towards me?" She rushed into her tavern, locked the door, then climbed to the roof. Gilgamesh heard the noise. He looked up and saw her standing there, staring at him. "Why do you lock yourself in?" he shouted. "I want to enter now. If you don't let me, I will smash your locks and break down your door." Shidori answered, "You seem so wild that I locked my door and climbed to the roof. Tell me your name now. Where are you going?" "Gilgamesh is my name," he said. "I am the king of Great Walled Orc. I am the man who killed Humbaba in the cedar forest. I am the man who triumphed over the bull of heaven." Shidori said, "Why are your cheeks so hollow and your features so ravaged? Why is your face frost-chilled and burnt by the desert sun? Why is there so much grief in your heart? Why are you worn out and ready to collapse, like someone who has been on a long, hard journey?" Gilgamesh said, "Shouldn't my cheeks be hollow? Shouldn't my face be ravaged, frost-chilled, and burnt by the desert sun? Shouldn't my heart be filled with grief? Shouldn't I be worn out and ready to collapse? My brother, whom I loved so dearly, who accompanied me through every danger. Enkidu, my brother, whom I loved so dearly, who accompanied me through every danger. The fate of mankind has overwhelmed me. For 6 days I would not let him be buried, thinking, if my grief is violent enough, perhaps he will come back to life again. For 6 days and 7 nights I mourned him, until a maggot fell out of his nose. Then I was frightened. I was terrified by death, and I set out to roam the wilderness. I cannot bear what happened to my friend. I cannot bear what happened to Enkidu, so I roam the wilderness in my grief. How can my mind have any rest? My beloved friend has turned into clay. My beloved Enkidu has turned into clay. And won't I lie down in the dirt like him, and never arise again?" Shidori said, "Gilgamesh, where are you roaming? You will never find the eternal life that you seek. When the gods created mankind, they also created death, and they held back eternal lives for themselves alone. Humans are born, they live, then they die. This is the order that the gods have decreed. But until the end comes, enjoy your life. Spend it in happiness, not in despair. Savor your food, make each of your days a delight. Bathe and anoint yourself, wear bright clothes that are sparkling clean. Let music and dancing fill your house. Love the child who holds you by the hand, and give your wife pleasure in your embrace. That is the best way for a man to live." Gilgamesh cried out, "What are you saying, tavern keeper? My heart is sick for my friend who died. What can your words mean when my heart is sick for Enkidu who died? Show me the road to Utanabishtim. I will cross the vast ocean if I can. If not, I will roam the wilderness in my grief." Shidori said, "Never has there been a path across the vast ocean, nor has there ever been any human who was able to cross it. Only brave Shamash, as he climbs the sky, can cross the vast ocean. Who else can do it? The crossing is harsh, the danger is great, and midway lie the waters of death, whose touch kills instantly. Even if you manage to sail the distance, what will you do when you reach the waters of death? The one man who can help you is Ur-Shanabi, Utanabishtim's boatman. He is trimming pine branches down in the forest, and he has the stone men with him. Go to him, ask. If he says yes, you can cross the vast ocean. If he says no, you will have to turn back." At these words, Gilgamesh gripped his axe, drew his knife, and crept down towards them. When he was close, he fell upon them like an arrow. His battle cry rang through the forest. Ur-Shanabi saw the bright knife, saw the axe flash, and he stood there, dazed. Fear gripped the stone men who crewed the boat. Gilgamesh smashed them to pieces, then threw them into the sea. They sank into the water. Gilgamesh came back and stood before him. Ur-Shanabi stared, then he said, "Who are you? Tell me. What is your name?" "I am Ur-Shanabi, the servant of Utanabishtim, the distant one." "Gilgamesh is my name," he answered. "I am the king of Great Walled Orc. I have traveled here across the high mountains. I have traveled here on the hidden road through the underworld, where the sun comes forth. Show me the way to Utanabishtim." Ur-Shanabi said, "Your own hands have prevented the crossing, since in your fury you have smashed the stone men who crewed my boat, and could not be injured by the waters of death. But don't despair, there is one more way we can cross the vast ocean. Take your axe, cut down 300 punting poles, each 100 feet long. Strip them, make grips, and bring them to me. I will wait for you here." Gilgamesh went deep into the forest. He cut down 300 punting poles, each 100 feet long. He stripped them, made grips, and brought them to Ur-Sanabi the boatman. They boarded the boat and sailed away. They sailed without stopping for 3 days and nights, a 6 weeks' journey for ordinary men, until they reached the waters of death. Ur-Sanabi said, "Now be careful, take up the first pole, push us forward, and do not touch the waters of death. When you come to the end of the first pole, drop it, take up a second and a third one, until you come to the end of the 300th pole, and the waters of death are well behind us." When all 300 poles had been used, Gilgamesh took Ur-Sanabi's robe. He held it as a sail with both arms extended, and the little boat moved on towards the shore. Alone on the shore stood Utanabishtim, wondering as he watched them approach. "Where are the stone men who crew the boat? Why is there a stranger on board? I have never seen him. Who can he be?" Gilgamesh landed. When he saw the old man, he said to him, "Tell me, where can I find Utanabishtim, who joined the assembly of the gods and was granted eternal life?" Utanabishtim said, "Why are your cheeks so hollow? Why is your face so ravaged, frost-chilled, and burnt by the desert sun? Why is there so much grief in your heart? Why are you worn out and ready to collapse, like someone who has been on a long, hard journey?" Gilgamesh said, "Shouldn't my cheeks be hollow? Shouldn't my face be ravaged, frost-chilled, and burnt by the desert sun? Shouldn't my heart be filled with grief? Shouldn't I be worn out and ready to collapse? My friend, my brother, whom I loved so dearly, who accompanied me through every danger. Enkidu, my brother, whom I loved so dearly, who accompanied me through every danger. The fate of mankind has overwhelmed him. For 6 days I would not let him be buried, thinking, if my grief is violent enough, perhaps he will come back to life again. For 6 days and 7 nights I mourned him until a maggot fell out of his nose. Then I was frightened. I was terrified by death, and I set out to roam the wilderness. I cannot bear what happened to my friend. I cannot bear what happened to Enkidu. So I roamed the wilderness in my grief. How can my mind have any rest? My beloved friend has turned into clay. My beloved Enkidu has turned into clay. And won't I too lie down in the dirt like him and never arise again? That is why I must find Utanabishtim, whom men call the Distant One. I must ask him how he managed to overcome death. I have wandered the world, climbed the most treacherous mountains, crossed deserts, sailed the vast ocean, and sweet sleep has rarely softened my face. I have worn myself out through ceaseless striving. I have filled my muscles with pain and anguish. I have killed bear, lion, hyena, leopard, tiger, deer, antelope, ibex. I have eaten their meat, and have wrapped their rough skins around me. And what in the end have I achieved? When I reached Chidori the tavern keeper, I was filthy, exhausted, heartsick. Now let the gate of sorrow be closed behind me, and let it be sealed shut with tar and pitch." Utanabishtim said, "Gilgamesh, why prolong your grief? Have you ever paused to compare your own blessed lots with a fool's? You were made from the flesh of both gods and humans. The gods have lavished you with their gifts, as though they were your fathers and mothers. From your birth they assigned you a throne and told you, 'Rule over men.' To the fool they gave beer dregs instead of butter, stale crusts instead of bread that is fit for gods, rags instead of magnificent garments. Instead of a wide-fringed belt, an old rope, and a frantic, senseless, dissatisfied mind. Can't you see how fortunate you are?